The market has been popping this past month. Buyer activity is certainly up and multiple offers are pretty common again. That's good news for sellers, and it's a bit of a battle again for buyers. Sorry, buyers. I'm Jessica Genung with Real Broker and the Genung team. It has admittedly been some tough years for buyers, but so far as I can tell, if you are prepared to buy now, it is likely going to be a better time than as we get closer to the spring selling season and summertime, and I'm going to tell you why. Not only is the spring selling season looking quite strong because it's already busy in January and February, which are historically lower, but it's looking like the Fed is going to push the rate cut to this summer or even later in the year, closer to election time. The recent jobs report came in red hot, which is bad news for rate cuts. Non-farm payroll expanded by 353,000 for the month, better than the Dow Jones estimate for 185,000. The unemployment rate held at 3.7% against the estimate for 3.8%. Average hourly earnings increased 0.6%, double the monthly estimate. On a year-over-year basis, wages jumped 4.5%, well above the 4.1% forecast. This bump in wage growth could work against the current Fed campaign to lower inflation. Check out this chart. In January and December, the U.S. added about twice as many jobs as September and October. I don't think too many people saw that coming. This quote pretty much says it all. Make no mistake, this was a blowout jobs report and will vindicate the recent posturing by the Fed, which effectively ruled out an interest rate cut in March, said George Mateo, Chief Investment Officer at Key Private Bank. Moreover, strong job gains combined with faster than expected wage gains may suggest an additional delay in rate cuts for 2024 and should cause some market participants to recalibrate their thinking. Trench Report. This is where I tell you what is happening in the Murrieta Temecula Valley real estate market from the boots on the ground perspective. We are seeing multiple offers ramp up again in the resale market where we still have very low inventory. We are back to 4 to 5 offers on good properties, and really hot properties or properties that are priced low are seeing like 10 to 15 offers. There was a listing down the street from us that a client was inquiring about. It was a nice pool home in West Murrieta that we immediately recognized as underpriced at $650,000. Sure enough, when Chris got to the open house, there was a line to get in, and last time we checked, there were 10 offers on the property. It was obvious to us that near the list price was not going to win this home, and I think a lot of the buyers that were there were wasting their time and probably getting their hopes up. New construction is also poppin'. Phases are selling out quickly and wait lists are forming again at many of the communities. I've been showing new construction for hours each day over the past many days, and the models have been pretty crowded, especially on the weekends. We've been touring in the pouring rain and there is still a good amount of activity. Go figure. Hot new community alert. TriPoint at Outlook in Winchester has a really interesting community called Luminary. I toured it with a client for the first time this week, and one of my favorite new construction sales reps is working there. She said it has been absolutely nuts, and they had 140 people through their broker open and about 150 home shoppers through their grand opening weekend. Needless to say, they sold out their first 2 phases and now have a wait list for the next phases. Stay tuned for a community spotlight video that I'm going to be doing on this community shortly. It's a good one. New construction price increases are also a sign the market is poppin'. Cimarron Ridge is a new community in North Menifee that has been popular in my business, and I've been working there almost every day this week. My first client to move in just got keys. I have another closing there in April and another couple clients on the wait list. Anyways, they just had an across-the-board price increase. They have 3 communities there, and 2 of the communities had a $4,000 price increase, and their highest end community called Meadows just had a $7,000 price increase. On the flip side, Taylor Morrison's Viola community at Siena just had a few homes receive price decreases, but the decreases are fewer and further in between. I just think that they overshot the pricing on the most recent phases because the sales were so strong for them at the end of 2023. My clients often ask me how much the builders will be raising the pricing in the upcoming months, and my answer is however high they can and the market will bear. It's a case-by-case basis depending on the community, but I usually have a good sense of what to expect with future pricing based on my experience with the various builders. And speaking of new construction pricing, the Tri-Point community Luminary that I was talking about earlier, I think they priced their first couple of phases a little too competitively and will be raising them up. I'll explain when I do my community spotlight video later. It's a long story, but don't delay in getting on that wait list if you want in there. Email me if you want the link for that or more information. Now we're going to go over the stats. The stats are from January, which is our last full month of data, but it's very important to know that these stats are a result of what happened basically in December, the month before. So many are lagging indicators, which is why I always try to include my trench report so you have the most timely information on what is happening in the market. It's seasonally typical for housing market activity to decline in December, which is then reflected in the January stats. So it's common to see decreases in sales price or stagnation, fewer closed sales, and increased days on market, which are lagging indicators. Sellers are not typically wanting to list their home over the holidays, and buyers are not wanting to move right around the holidays either. But I do expect the February market stats to look better for sellers than the lackluster January numbers. February is typically when sales start to pick up, and then sales continue to increase and peak in June, and then stats start to decline in July through the rest of the year. As always, we're going to be looking at the stats for Menifee, Murrieta, and Temecula single family homes only for simplicity, starting with median sales price in Menifee. So month over month, Menifee was actually the only city to see a median sales price increase of about $9,500. Year over year, Menifee sales price is up 6.1%. Moving on to Murrieta for the median sales price, it had a very slight decline. It's basically flat month over month, a decline of $1,600. Year over year, median sales price has increased in Murrieta 7.8%. Lastly, let's look at Temecula's median sales price, which has also declined about 1% or $7,500. Year over year, Temecula has seen the largest price increase at 10.7%. And people, they're always asking me, Murrieta versus Temecula, what's the difference between the two cities? One of them is price. Right now, the difference in price is $62,600. And that's where the difference between the two cities normally hangs out, around $60,000 or so, less expensive to buy a home in Murrieta versus Temecula. Let's look at closed sales starting in Menifee. Month over month, number of closed sales is down 4.9% or 5 homes. So it's fairly flat, but it's down just a little bit. As I mentioned, as we head into February, I do expect that closed sales number to go up, and as we mentioned, through June. Year over year, number of closed sales is down 3% or 3 homes. So it's fairly flat year over year as well. Let's look at Murrieta. Murrieta and Temecula have much further decreases in number of closed sales. So month over month, it's down 19.2% or 14 homes in Murrieta, and year over year, it's down 29.8%. While 29.8% is a big number, if you have been watching my previous market reports, it's been down more like 40 or 50% the number of closed sales. So this 29.8% is actually a year over year improvement, believe it or not. Let's move on to Temecula, is also down month over month as far as closed sales go. It's down 11 homes or a decline of 14.3%. Year over year, closed sales are down 16.5%, which again, that's actually an improvement from my past several market reports. Median days on market, this one's kind of interesting and a mixed bag over the 3 cities. So starting with Menifee, median days on market in Menifee is declining, which is a strong sign for the market. It's declined 8 days in 1 month, which is a lot. Year over year, it's declined 20 days. It's taking 20 fewer days to sell a home in Menifee than it was a year ago. Moving on to Murrieta is the total opposite. Both Murrieta and Menifee saw median days on market actually increase. So Murrieta's went up 18 days. That's a huge increase month over month. Year over year, it's taking 5 fewer days to sell a home. So this might probably a 1 month anomaly. So we'll see what happens in February. Median days on market in Temecula has increased month over month by 8 days. So that's a substantial increase in days on market, but seasonally typical. And then year over year, it's down 12 days. So we are Homes are flying off the shelf much faster than they were a year ago. Okay, lastly, we're gonna look at number of listings, starting with Menifee. This is a bit of a mixed bag over the cities as well. So Menifee's number of listings month over month is up 13 homes or 6.3%. So Menifee is seeing an increase in inventory. And Murrieta month over month is also seeing an increase in inventory, just 6 homes, so not near as much as Menifee, but that is a 3% increase. And then Temecula, lastly, is our only city where we are seeing a decrease in the number of listings, but only by 6 homes. So it's 4%, but a decrease of 6 homes. Again, as we move into the spring selling season in the summer, the number of listings will certainly be going up. Hope that you found these stats helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.